afternoon, April 15th. Cop Talk, Good Friday. I think we need to start by remembering exactly what this day means to Liverpool fans and remembering those lost at the Hillsborough tragedy. The 97 fans that went to a game and never came home. And yeah, this is a very somber day for Liverpool fans, and you know, my heart goes out to all the family, all the friends of everyone who lost anyone that day in that tragedy. You never walk alone.
Yeah, it was quite poignant up there on Wednesday. There was lots of flowers and wreaths by the monument now, the memorial, and there was a nice minute's remembrance at the beginning of the game. Yeah, I remember it like yesterday. It was a long time ago, but the game was sticking in any Liverpool fan's mind for the rest of their life, I think. So yeah, thoughts and prayers to everyone that had family and as a club, as a community, as a city, has suffered.
Yeah, I mean, as well, just to finish on this with the Hillsborough tragedy, without getting too political, but the disgraceful behaviour by the police, the government, and the press initially, you know, the things that were said and the sort of the way the families were treated of these people that had died, it was just horrendous, man, horrendous. And I'm just glad that stuff has come out into the open now, exactly what had happened. And all right, the people responsible may not have been held accountable fully, but we know who they are, and everyone knows who they are now. And you know, that's massive. Yeah, so yeah, I mean, it's hard to talk about football really when you start thinking about that.
Well, I think it is and it isn't, because at the end of the day, you know, the games go on, life goes on. Even back then, all those years ago, a few weeks later, we had the semi-final again against Forest. So, you know, life has moved on. They're never forgotten, as we know. And there's, you know, a season, this season in particular, where, you know, a lot is there again for us to remember them by. And
I think sometimes, the 97 of them are standing in the goal, preventing goals going into our goal.
It's going back to the football.
Yeah.
It's a season where, as a club, it's one of the, well, in modern day football, one of the best seasons we've ever had so far. Anyway, I mean, how it ends up, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I can't remember a season where mid-April we're in the semi-final of two competitions. We're within a point of the league. Within a point of the league. Yeah. And no other team close. So it's just us and one other team. Yeah. And we've already got a trophy. I mean, that's unheard of. I mean, I think the last time it was like this was probably around the treble season of Hillsborough, like 2001, where it seemed like every game was huge. I think that was a bit different.
Even though it was different because in the league we were never in the league. We were our trophy in the league was the Champions League, trying to finish in those places. Yeah. So the league games were huge because of that, but every game was huge in cup competitions. It was like it was a knockout every week. You know what I mean? So
I think you know, 84 was another time where we did the treble, and that was a big treble. But
Joe Fagan,
I was there on Wednesday night, and I told you that there seems to be an anticipation in the crowd. I mean, having a good look around and having a good listen and watching, how the fans are just embracing what's going on. The anticipation that something's about to happen is enormous. And I witnessed that on Wednesday. I saw a lot of fans, a little bit like the season we lost the league by a point, where, every game mattered. And, there was no margin of error. Has come back again this season, but it's for every competition all of a sudden. But the other night, I felt it. So, we were comfortable. Yes, we played a game, I think, where, we were a little bit open and we made some changes, but I think they knew that they had always had a 2-goal pushing going into the game. But there's just you'll see it on Tuesday when you go to the United game up there. There is a huge buzz around the stadium before the game, during the game. Something it could be the greatest season ever. Yeah. And we've dealt with that. Villarreal in the next round.
Yeah. Let's just talk first about, obviously, we've had the game before the Benfica game, the City game, where we drew 2-2. Yeah. That for me, I think that City played well. I think City were the better team. If I'm looking at it honestly, I think they dominated most of the ball and they had some very good chances. We also had good chances and scored very good goals. But I think we just switched for the second goal for City. It's just that not paying attention to that run from deep is what cost us there. That Trent, I'm not going to blame Trent too much, although he's at fault for that. But, those are the details we've got to cut out. And it happened against Benfica as well.
I take it away from the Man City game, though, Jason, to be honest. I think, if you're clearly for the last 3 seasons going hammer, apart from last season, going hammer and tong for 3 out of 4 seasons with Man City for the league, okay, it is pretty obvious in those 3 out of 4 seasons that the fixtures between each other are not the definitive fixtures, okay? They aren't the ones that define what's going to happen, okay? Now, we couldn't lose that game on Sunday, clearly, because if we lost that game on Sunday and ended up 4 points behind them, 4 points with 7 games to go is huge. I go back to last September when me and you had a conversation about not beating Chelsea at home against 10 men, or Brighton at home being 2-0 up and drawing 2-2, Brentford away drawing 3-3. Obviously, you're going to drop points in the season. However, those 3 games were the kind of games I didn't. If you beat Brighton from being 2-0 up, you're above City now.
Yeah.
And this is so the game against.
I was at that game. I know. We were lucky to win.
To
even draw.
So my point is, these games, yes, they are built up on the telly and all the rest of it, and they are big games. But we went into that game knowing we couldn't lose the game, and it was very nervy. Yeah. We played them as we normally play our games, and tomorrow I suspect we will play them differently. Yeah. I genuinely believe tomorrow we will play our normal game against them, and we will be a different animal because we will play as we will play to win the game, but we're not in the back of our mind thinking if we lose this game, we're done for 4 points. And tomorrow we will be a different animal. So it was different, and this is what we need to remember now. For it's become a habit now with Man City that over the last few seasons, the games against them, we don't beat them, they don't beat us. We beat them. They aren't the games. So yeah, we got out of jail. In the end, we kind of got back into that game, put a foot on the game, and got out of there with a point. And we move on. But
I like what Klopp said. He analysed the game quite well. He said that what he saw is that we're a lot closer to them now. We're close now. There's not a lot between the teams.
No, there's nothing between them.
Before, the distance maybe was a bit bigger in terms of their quality above ours. But he said now we're very close.
And let me tell you, they are very scared of us, very frightened of us, because, they are a great side, but they've got someone like De Bruyne who orchestrates everything for them. Yeah. That team, without De Bruyne in it, is a complete and utter different animal. We have got so many different options now, all over the park. I mean, Canate played the other night. I mean, the bloke's a beast. Yeah. And up front with Diaz coming in. So they've had. Listen, 2 months ago they were talking about they've won 11 or 12 or 13 games on the trot, whatever it was. Yeah. And we're still a point behind them. Yeah. So if you go on a run like that and you can't get away from teams, it's just an amazing battle. So the Champions League's been put to bed for a couple more weeks. There's a couple of league games to be played before then. We've got the FA Cup tomorrow. Yeah. What are we fancying tomorrow?
I think we'll win it in extra time.
Really?
Yeah. I think it will be. I know you say it will be a different game, but I think it's going to be quite similar to what we saw last week. Wembley's a massive pitch. It's a big pitch, big spaces, and City will exploit that.
And you're warm as well.
Yeah, and we've got to defend a lot better than we have been. Yeah, that's for sure. And I'm no doubt we will. The back four will be the back four, so they'll be a lot more experienced and better at holding that high line properly. The problem is, though, you're playing against arguably a team just as good, even better. So you've got to. They're going to get in behind you, So we've got to be prepared for that. And listen, if we can defend better in our game tomorrow, I think we'll win it and win it comfortably. Because
I'm going to win it. You just said extra time. It's either going extra time or comfortable.
Hold on. Extra time doesn't mean it won't be comfortable. It means it's going to be a tight affair. But I think we'll run out as comfortable winners in the end.
I fancy us very strong tomorrow, like 3-1.
Yeah,
I think they're very tired. I mean, we played Benfica the other day. We had the cushion and the ability to rest.
Yeah, and there wasn't a war as well against Benfica.
No, I mean I didn't watch the game.
They were in a war.
Yeah, I didn't watch it, but by all accounts,
they
were in a war, and they played us the week before, and that was a really hard game for them as well. They're not robots, and they don't come in there with Carl Walker, who did cause us problems 2 weeks ago or last week, or De Bruyne. I believe we'll walk out 2 or 3 goals to the good tomorrow. Well, I'm expecting a comfortable victory tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll take that.
We've just got the. I think we've got the momentum. We've got the. I watched them the other day. The momentum, the arrogance, the enthusiasm. They know there's something there is. It's every competition we're in now is within reaching distance. We're not talking, Champions League, 2 semi-finals and a final. FA Cup semi-final and a final, the league, 7 games. It's everything. You can see it. It's within touching distance, all of it. Yeah. And so now you're going to get that extra ounce out of every player, and they know it to play. You can play in November away to Burnley, and think, I don't quite fucking fancy this today. I think, whatever. And it happens to all teams and all players. But now